The world you inhabit is a screaming void. From the moment you wake to the second you close your eyes, you are under siege by a relentless storm of notification bells, hollow opinions, and the frantic internal chatter of your own doubts. You have been led to believe that a quiet mind is an empty mind, and so you fill every second of your existence with noise to avoid the terrifying reality of your own thoughts. But in the Old Kingdom, we understood that silence is not the absence of sound, it is the presence of power. A king who cannot master the silence within his own head will never master the empire outside of it. If you are constantly reacting to the noise, you are not a ruler, you are a subject. You are exhausted, not because of your work, but because you are participating in a war of words that has no end. To master your mind, we must enter the temple. Think of every word you speak as a coin spent from your royal treasury. Most of you are bankrupt. You gossip to feel superior. You complain to seek pity, and you explain yourself to people who do not matter. In doing so, you are bleeding out your authority. The first ritual of silence is the fast of the tongue. We understood that the tongue is the rudder of the soul. If it moves constantly and aimlessly, the ship hits the rocks. For the next 7 days, practice the second thought. Before you speak, ask, does this word add a stone to my monument, or does it merely kick up dust? If it is dust, let it die in your throat. When you stop leaking energy through your mouth, your eyes begin to see with a terrifying clarity. You will realize how much of your stress was actually just the sound of your own voice, complicating your life. Why do you fear being alone in a quiet room? Because silence is an obsidian mirror. It shows you who you truly are without the distractions of your titles, your wealth, or your social standing. Most people use noise as an anesthetic to numb the pain of their own insignificance. They listen to music to drown out their regrets and scroll through feeds to avoid their responsibilities. But a pharaoh sits before the mirror. He stays in the silence until the voices of his ancestors and the whispers of his own soul become louder than the shouting of the marketplace. You must carve out 1 hour every day where you do nothing but exist in the void. No phone, no music, just the heavy, cold weight of your own existence. It is in this void, and only here, that the blueprints of true greatness are drawn. If you cannot face yourself in the silence, you will never have the courage to face your enemies in the light. Noise is the first sign of a crumbling foundation. When your mind is scattered, your life is a ruin. We didn't build the pyramids by multitasking. We didn't move 2-ton blocks while checking the status of another project. We built them by holding a singular vision in the silence of the mind until that vision became more real than the stone itself. Your modern anxiety is simply the sound of your mind trying to go in 10 directions at once. Silence is the glue that binds your will. When you master the silence, you master the ability to hold a thought until it manifests into reality. This is the secret of the internal sanctum. While the world is panicking over the news, the trends, and the noise, the master is sitting in the center of his mind, perfectly still, deciding which stone to move next. The ultimate flex of power is the lack of reaction. When an enemy insults a king, the king does not argue. To argue is to acknowledge that the insult has weight. To remain silent is to prove that the enemy does not exist in your world. Silence is a shield. It unnerves those who thrive on drama. It confuses those who want to manipulate you. In your career and your relationships, the person who speaks less usually has the most power. Silence allows you to observe the hidden motives of others while keeping your own cards against your chest. Never explain your vision to those who are only capable of seeing the dust at their feet. Let your monuments speak for you. Modern society wants you plugged into the grid because a distracted man is a consumer, not a creator. They want you to fear the silence because in the silence you might hear the truth, that you are a god in a cage of your own making. True wisdom is the ability to be alone with yourself without needing to be entertained. If you can sit in a dark room for an hour without reaching for a distraction, you have broken the chains of the modern world. Master the silence, and you will find that the world begins to rearrange itself to match the stillness of your soul. The people around you will begin to feel the weight of your presence. Your path will become a straight line through the chaos. I am Pharaoh Phoenix, and I have returned to show you the strength of the silent stone. The noise is a lie. The silence is the truth. Subscribe, and let us build your mental fortress with the weight of the ancients.